Several of you might be wondering what to do once you open Prezi. I recommend you click around, check it out, create something, spend a half an hour just playing with the software interface, which appears in your browser. But there is a getting started video here, for example, and you can just press play and watch the video. If you have existing Prezis, then you can edit them. Here's an existing Prezi, click the down arrow. I get to do lots of things, including edit. So that might help you as this project goes along. You might stop working on it for a while and need to come back to it and know that you can edit it. Now, how do you get started? Well, after you watch the video and you click around, maybe you use YouTube and say, hey, YouTube, how do I use Prezi? And get some suggestions from the web. This is just software. I'm not worried about software. I'm worried about the content. It is very important when you do this project that you include the content that is assigned in the project. Look specifically at the things that are assigned. So you could just create a template from scratch, and you could decide which kind of category you have. Maybe you want to use education or a nonprofit. Maybe you just want a general presentation. It doesn't much matter to me. I'm going to choose HR and training. Going to choose use this template. So, who can see this presentation? Notice I couldn't click continue. This becomes red. Red is an alert. It's a design element of the website that says, hey, this is in red. You have to pay attention to it. So, who can see this presentation? Well, if I choose people I share it with, then it's going to bump me into a $7 a month free trial, which I don't want. You don't want. But if I choose anyone on the web, that's a nice choice. There's no money involved. Let's do that one. Now, what's the title of the presentation? The presentation is about style use in Word, or something similar. Use 4 to 6 words, title case, that describes the content of your presentation. I don't want you to see you referring to assignments or projects or English 304. I want your title to reflect the content of your presentation. So I'm going to click continue. And then this presentation will be created from the template that I chose. Here we go. Here's a Prezi element. Let me zoom in. As you can tell, there are some default text elements here. Here's a heading text. How do I know it's heading? Because it's bigger and it's bolder than the body text. Also, there are styles here. So this is a subtitle 2. There's body styles. So I recommend you use titles and subtitles for your headings and body for your regular text. This is not like Word. You can't use Word styles here. This is not a docx file. This is on the web. Styling is limited here. So what perhaps might this topic be? This topic might be using our Word template. Let's assume that we are working for a company and the company has a specific template that they like you to use for Word documents, which is very common. And these are the instructions for using it. Now, as you can see, I've got this window closed. If I were to expand Chrome, I might be able to see some other options. Clearly, Prezi does bulleted lists for you. It may not do numbered lists. You might have to manually type lists in here. Typing lists is bad because if you edit the list, add items, delete items, your numbering gets out of sync and you have to manually fix it, and it's one more thing to worry about. Auto numbering is the best way to go. However, if Prezi has a limitation that it doesn't do automatically numbered lists, you're going to have to manually do it. A course convention is to use steps for instruction, numbered steps, because instruction is sequential. The order matters. Use numbered steps. The step must be an action followed by any result. Must be a complete sentence. Do not begin a step with the result of a previous action. So, let's introduce our lists. We introduce all sections, we introduce all lists. I notice I don't have to say Word again. Don't be redundant. Remember course conventions, double space between paragraphs, single space between lines. To repeat, this is not Word. It doesn't have the sophisticated formatting that Word has. Its styles don't know those things. You're going to have to manually do it, which is what most of you did the first week in class for your first memo anyway. So what's step 1? Step 1 is get the template from project 2, and that's just where it is. It's in the project 2 area. And then save file using course convention, using our file name. You can review the project 2 video for what those are, but we have a specific way here to name files. Step 3, remove any default content. Both of our templates have content in them already for you to read and take notes on, but you don't need to add that content to the work you turn in. It's unrelated. So remove any default content. Then you need to type your own content. So the content would be whatever the project is. But you type it and you apply styles. And make sure you save often. That is how we approach this. Make sure that as you go along and as you complete these and fill these in, and notice you can insert topics, you can insert story blocks, you can add things to your presentation, click around and try it. Worst case scenario is you don't like what you've got, it's absolutely horrid, start a new presentation. It won't take you long to get back to where you were. As you go along, make sure that you save your work. So notice on the internet, on the web, this hamburger icon here, this menu item, is something you should click to see what's in the list. And in this list is save. Make sure you're using save. That's how you get started with Prezi. See you online.